Hello and welcome to Joy News Today. Coming up, Ghana Police assures of employing necessary measures to improve policing in Ghana. More as the service unleashes personnel with specially trained security dogs to boost its visibility and investigations in the national capital. As President Akufo-Addo continues his tour of the central region today, we'll hear from the Queen Mother of Efutuakwa traditional area, who is charging the president to state a definite stance on the practices of LGBTQ+ in Ghana to protect his legacy as a chief executive of the country. Also, only 4% out of the expected 20 million Ghanaians have fully been vaccinated. What's accounting for the vaccine hesitancy at a time we have more of the vaccines available? The Ghana Health Service will be telling us. We have business, sports, world news, and show business as part of this package. You don't want to miss the details, so stay with us. Now, the Ghana Police Service says its current new leadership appreciates the need to improve policing in Ghana. To this end, the service is employing several measures to achieve that. Among the measures is the introduction of what it calls the proactive preventive policing strategy aimed at boosting the visibility of personnel, improving on intelligence gathering, and tracking contraband goods. Director General in charge of Public Affairs of the Police Service, ACP Kwesi Fori, throws more lights, particularly with the unleashing of specially trained security dogs across the national capital for patrols. He spoke to Israel Lai on News Desk a while ago.
Management is at work at the police headquarters. Before the dogs came in, we saw the horse patrols also being rolled on. And now we have the dogs looking at the kind of experiences that we've had in recent time regarding criminal activities. It is fair that the police need to be very proactive to make sure that they are positioned to perform some specific tasks. They are not there for general tasks, but for some specific tasks. For instance, if you move in and they stop you, and with a kind word, a golden word, for the sniffer dog to go into your vehicle to search you. I believe that members of the public should welcome this as a way of keeping all of us safe. And they so far, when we deploy them, they've been doing so well. And the trainers are also very careful, as you suggested, not to let them go astray. They are well contained, well directed. And their vehicles are also around, to make sure that when the need comes, they put them in, to make sure that they are well also protected and cared for.
So I asked the question, why now? Because I believe this K9 unit has been around all this while. Why were we not deploying them? Why didn't we think that?
Okay, let's look at the faces when they were brought in. One, for them to be used to the environment. Two, for them to be given that adequate training to suit our local situation.
So it's more of
and also
are you suggesting it's a new unit?
It's a new unit. It's a new unit. But I think we pause for some time from the public gallery to make sure that they are well trained, suit our environment, and also take appropriate instructions and command. So I think we are now done with them, and they are fully groomed, to go out, and that is why we're seeing them. Some of them were not as big as this when they came in.
All right.
They were taking through processes, training, making sure that we build their bodies very well, to suit that of policing dogs.
Well, ACP Kwesi Ofori also assured the police would do everything to sustain the K9 units of the police to ensure the best security for all citizenry at any point in time.
we'll do everything to make sure that we sustain it. For instance, like the horses. The horses have been there for ages. We have experts who train them. We have experts who manage them, health-wise and what have you. And it has been on and on and on. So in this, our contemporary world, better decisions need to be taken at all time in terms of provision of resources, in terms of care, in terms of training, among others. But I can assure you that these dogs are going to be very beneficial to our society and country. And we'll move in step by step, and we'll make sure that we deploy them where appropriate in special task operations. And they've seen the need that we need to change our attitude, we need to be more proactive, we need to go all out to serve the good people of this country in a better way. And it is the Ghana Police Service, as you said. The leadership has also changed, and they believe that they are accountable to the good people of this country by making sure that we take steps that will protect our people, take steps that will guarantee the safety of all manner of persons, including those of us here and beyond, and even all residents in the country. And this is a grand management, decision, making sure that we do a lot of things. And so far, so good. Things are going on well.
We head to the Central Region now, where the Queen Mother of the Efutuakwa traditional area, Nana Afranse, has charged President Akufo-Addo to make a definite pronouncement on the region LGBTQ+ debate in Ghana. The Queen Mother believes the President's stance on the matter and his appeal to the members of Parliament on the bill will calm nerves. Addressing the President during his tour of the Central Region, Nana Afranse fears the President's failure to declare his stance will soil his legacy.
Wukan bia ebeye yesraw woni na shebejafo ne nkasa na saade ne de na no ewo Ghana fa na nyina nya de a ye gi saade eti ye besre ye peji wani a ye hwe wa o man nyina so hwe de wo beka eti ye mpese be so ne abodi action aka ho eti ye besre se ye hu bibi maye.
On the back of what we've just heard, let's cross over to our colleague Richard Kojonyako, who is our Central Regional Correspondent. He joins us live. Richard, did the President respond directly to the Queen Mother's charge? What exactly did he say?
Well, so Mama V, the President did not respond to the charge of the Queen Mother, except to say that there is an opposition party that is currently running around the country. And when those political parties, when they come around, the people, the chiefs and people of the area should just ask them a simple question: what policies they have to give the people of Ghana? Should they be given the nod? So in effect, what are the policies they intend rolling out? Should they be given the nod to operate? He said that rather than outlining some of the policies they intend rolling out, these people are going about insulting him. And so he is charging them to ask them these questions.
So this is to say, Richard, that the President did not respond to the Queen Mother's charge.
The President did not make any comment about this. There was nothing about this, the President said when after the Queen Mother addressed him.
Okay. This is his final day in the Central Region. What is he up to?
Well, so currently we are in the Himan Lower Dentra districts of the Central Region. The President just arrived, and so he's paying a courtesy call on the Omahine of Himan traditional area. After this, he will also be visiting some of the 1D, 1F project sites. He will finally end his tour at Winneba and then proceed back to Accra.
Just before you go, Richard, what was the response, the atmosphere after the president did not?
Well, so there was a deafening silence. Mama V, there was deafening silence at the place because people were expecting that the president would at least say a word about what the Queen Mother or the charge of the Queen Mother, but to their utmost surprise, there was nothing about it. And so it was some kind of surprise to them. They felt that the president was even going to say a word about what the Queen Mother said.
Here, meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has also been telling the people of Assin Breku to demand from the opposition party any good policy they intend rolling out should they win power.
I'm afraid the SCY results fair, yet 1D, 1F, no impact on the lives of the people in the district. You be 1D, 1F. What do you see? I can't send baby. Oh, we are here today. That Ghana for some sort of and then Ghana for who baby and no crying war. 1 year, 1 year can no crying one is so. I have to be in some papa be I'm paying for no, then somewhere. Papa baby. If you tell me if you say the Bible basing there, and take policy, Papa be if you remove one about is I think the day and the can somewhere emphata. The big job of Copamo now one of course in the 1 year. Now, I so no, the year says, I am more by no, you should MCO or DCO no Obama had you Obama homoden and then China mine you know. Now although any regional police commander ever require police station or handles a bit me about police for recruiting 4,000 more people. The Queen Biasono, Sana Fibicam will get more and more policemen. And that can't say, most of the women you are. Say, by some cacao, the number. The Babin Slam, the Babin, the Akosuha, nothing so, Amaya Kwanso, Adam Watson. Now, Mokosu Jayachi Ghana Memono, and that form. When you never be dressed here, be our brain and near what Nasun surgery to be who say. Ampa, ye be, Nan check. Ghana no,
Let's continue to stay in the central region because residents of Cape Coast say they are disappointed after President Akufo-Addo denied promising to construct a harbour there. Details of manifesto promises made by the NPP in the lead-up to the 2020 general elections show a clear promise by the party. The president made the statement as he started a tour of the region yesterday. There's more in the following report.
And for the people of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. We are building a new harbour in Cape Coast and a new airport in Cape Coast.
Emphatic statements from the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, when a new patriotic party launched a 2020 manifesto. His statement was captured in page 160. Residents of Cape Coast have been eager for the harbour project, but according to President Akufo-Addo, the harbour was never part of the list of commitment tabled for his second term.
First of all, there's a clarification. The commitment was never to a harbour, it was to a landing site.
Okay.
It's very, very important. And you look inside the MPP, page 88 of the MPP manifesto for the 2020 election, it was clear. And there are several landing sites that we have in the central region that are ongoing. Let me read you some of them, of the landing sites that they have. and is the phase for the first phase of the landing sites in the central region. Involves Sinyabreku, which is what, 92, nearly 93% complete. Elmina, 13% complete. Moray, 78% complete. Winneba, 57% complete. And Gomoa Fete, 90% complete. And Mumford, 79, 80% complete. So that is the first phase of the landing sites that we're going to build. The second phase includes Cape Coast. And the idea would be that, once again, next year, that initiation will take place. So as far as the harbour, we have to be very clear in our mind.
The President read from page 88 of the manifesto, which clearly stated a landing site for Cape Coast. The Vice President also read from page 160, clearly stating that the harbour will be built for the people of Cape Coast. Will it be a harbour or a landing site? Well, it appears we have to take the number one gentleman's word for it.
We never committed ourselves. I never said I was going to build a harbour at Cape Coast. I said I was going to build a landing site.
Away from the president's tour, only 4% of the estimated 20 million Ghanaians expected to have been fully vaccinated by December this year have taken their full jabs. The Ghana Health Service has blamed the situation on poor response to the vaccination exercise underway. Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Sieru Bekwing, and pharmacist and a fellow with the Center for Democratic Development, Ghana, Dr. Kwame Sapone-Sieru, have been sharing more on the status of the ongoing exercise and what can be done to change the public's attitude towards COVID-19 vaccinations. They spoke earlier with Israel Lai.
So the government and other partners managed to get us the storage capacity so we can now pick the ultra-negative vaccines. So now we can store Moderna, we can store Pfizer, and we have over 2.6 million doses of Moderna and Pfizer. But what we want to put across is that if you look at the vaccines that we have, they are all effective. So whether it's AZ, whether it's Pfizer, whether it's Moderna, or they are all effective. So you don't need to choose a particular brand of vaccine. What is most important is the population immunity. So this wait and see attitude of Ghanaians is not going to help us. Because clearly, the more you wait and you get infected, you're going to have an outcome. Let me say that what we are doing is that we are even doing hawking, house to house, going from house to house, saying that a vaccine, you come and take. People are not taking the vaccines. And then because the disease burden is low now, people have decided to lay back. And I think that for us, we have engaged a number of leaders to help us push the vaccines. And we have been trying to push some at the markets. We are trying to see how best Ghanaians can take the vaccine. I think that for now, the discussion is taking the vaccine. I mean, trying to explain why we are not getting the disease is a different narrative. But I think for now, what we have is that we have vaccines available. Let's take it. If you look at our data, just 4%, a little over 4% are fully vaccinated. And just about 11% have taken just a shot. So we are way behind our set target. And I think that should be the discussion about how people can take the vaccines. If you look at our strategy, we are initially doing what they call the population and then geographic segmentation. It was really very limited vaccines. So we said our focus is on the at-risk groups. So in that case, we're looking at people who are 60 years and above, people who had underlying medical conditions. But now it's open. Every Ghanaian who's 18 years and above can walk in and get a vaccine. And all the 62 districts in the country have vaccines. And we have all the vaccination centers are open. So just walk in and you get a vaccine. And let me say that, we used to have this challenge about UK and others not accepting our program. Now it's accepted. So I don't see what is it that we want, what is holding us. Our doors are open, the vaccines are available. Please, let's patronize the vaccines.
What I think is going on, it only takes one to look at a press release from the WHO African office last week, which said that currently in Africa, their research suggests that only 14.2% of all the cases have ever been identified. And over 82% of our cases are not identified. And they put it into context and say that of the 8 million cases that are reported in Africa as a continent, our caseload looks cumulatively around 59 million. So I say that to draw people's attention to the fact that Ghana is not the exception, but the norm as far as the African continent is concerned. So what does that mean? That gives a false sense of complacency, because people think at the end of the day, only, let's say, if you look at Ghana, 100,000+ people have gotten infected. And if we're using the African average of 14%, you can look at the actual, you can project the actual cumulative infection rate for Ghana. This is also backed by seroprevalence studies that have been done in Ghana itself by the likes of WACBIB, and I know KCCR and others, and I think the Ghana Health Service is doing their own as well, which tells us that a lot more people are carrying antibodies to COVID than actually have been vaccinated. And so if you add our vaccination pool plus people who have cumulatively got infected, the number of people who have antibodies are way, way, way higher, which tells you that the infections have been much, much more significant than we have reported. Again, fueling the complacency. Where does that leave us? I mean, I go back to the WHO report from last week, and I say it leaves us with a concern around long COVID, because if the chronic disease load from long COVID becomes as it's been predicted globally, then we are going to have a disease burden overload. And for me, this is my biggest concern. And like I say with every vaccine, your immunity is as strong as the immunity conferred by your community. You have one immunity. Let's say if the vaccine is 70%, it means you are 30% likely to get an infection. Well, when it comes to mortality, it's about 96, 97%, so you are 3% more likely if you get infected to die. However, your 30% becomes insignificant if more people are vaccinated and taking it close to herd immunity. That is what Africa doesn't have. And that is why we should be concerned. And that's why I find the false complacency amongst Ghanaians a bit concerning.
Now, the Secretariat overseeing the construction of the National Cathedral says it hopes to raise an additional $100 million to serve as a maintenance fund for the facility, expected to be completed in 2024. Chief Executive Officer of the Secretariat, Dr. Paul Opoku-Mensah, says it is their hope that the endowment fund will accrue the required amount of money to cater for the future expenses without burdening the public purse. He spoke to Joy News on the sidelines of an ongoing symposium organized by the Secretariat.
It's almost about $100 million maximum endowment. You see, endowments are going to be critical to the success of this project. We're trying to introduce a new way of running national monuments. That the national monuments, you have the resources to run on their own, to maintain themselves. Instead of every time looking out for others to give you grants to run your programs and then raising money to maintain. We really are introducing a new model. So beyond the cost, can we add about $100 million just to ensure that you have resources in perpetuity? So normally what you do for an endowment is that you invest it, and then you only use the interest. So if you're able to raise about $100 million, what it means that every year, based on your interest, you have. That's what most of the major institutions, the African American Museum, the Smithsonian, that's all how they survive. Don't really want to say we've built a national cathedral. We've seen so many projects being built. I mean, hospitals are built and there's no money to run them. We really want to insist that it's possible to do things differently, but you have to do it now. You see, you can't finish building and then go raise money. I mean, that's why we said, look, we have integrated this idea of an economic engine and an endowment. But 250 is for the building, and the 100 will be for the endowment. That will allow us to run this in a very generative, progressive way.
Meanwhile, he's defended the decision of the Secretariat to continue working with the architect of the National Cathedral, Sir David Adjaye, despite his association with the LGBTQ+ community.
I think he's more theologically sound than some of those who are criticizing him. First of all, I mean, David hasn't made any formal commitment, or what he was saying at the time really had nothing to do with support for LGBT. What he was saying that you can't just go down and start beating people in the country, and that we have to insist that much as we don't agree, it's not consonant with our cultures, it's also not acceptable for people to just go around beating people. That is unacceptable, and that's really what he was almost appending his signature to. It's not in support of LGBT, but we all must be against this idea that somehow, because we don't agree and it's not consonant with our cultures, we can just go around and start beating people up. That's unacceptable.
Away from that, and we head to the Ashanti region, where police have arrested a man who allegedly murdered his pregnant wife at Nyantre Niase, close to Sofoline in Kumasi. My colleague Erastus Asari Donko joins us live now with more. Erastus, give us a background of how this happened.
Well, so on the dawn of Saturday, Maxwell Wadu, 44 years, who has been married to his wife, known as Betty, 31, for about 7 years now. They are renting an apartment at Nyantre Niase, and at dawn, he stabbed the woman multiple times, leading to her death. And eyewitnesses who rushed to the scene indicate that the woman was screaming for help, and that is what attracted them to go in there. By the time they got there, he had already killed the woman and was rubbing his hands in a cloth. So we were not able to arrest him. He fled the scene for 3 days now. It was only today, this morning, that Kodia police arrested him whilst trying to flee the region. And currently, he's being brought to the Kumasi command for more investigations.
Erastus, has he made any confessions yet?
For now, he looks very solemn, seated inside the CID office. Not really talking to policemen, but he has not denied it. He has not also been explaining his actions as to why he will murder his wife, but he looks like he has regretted his actions, very remorseful, very down-looking, as he is seated in the crime office.
Do we know what he's being charged with and when he'll be taken to court?
Well, I do know that he's being prepared for court on a charge of murder, and that is what the police are considering now, but they want to first get more information and be able to conclude investigations before probably tomorrow morning he will be arraigned before court.
But are neighbors explaining what may have led to this incident?
Well, his family has been speaking. The lady's family has been speaking. Grandfather of Betty tells me that when her mom was alive, he did not wish that the lady will marry the gentleman because they had issues and the gentleman was not treating him well. And it says after their marriage, the man is accusing the lady of infidelity. And so a couple of times the case had come to in front of the father and they've tried to resolve it, but they treated it as one of the issues that come with marriage until he killed her. They never assumed that it would take this dimension.
Were the children exposed to this scene?
Yes, they have a 6-year-old son in whose presence the dastardly act was committed. And when the family interviewed him, he told them that when he tried to get out, when the man was killing his mom, and he shouted that, "Daddy, why are you killing mommy?" And he said, "Shut up and cover yourself with a cloth or I'll kill you too." And so he covered himself with a cloth. That's what he's been telling his family. And so for now, he's okay. He's playing around with his siblings. He's been taken care of by his uncle. He doesn't show any signs of trauma, but doctors are saying that he needs to be examined and he needs to be treated.
Well, that's a very painful...
by psychiatrists.
Erastus, we'll leave it here. Very painful narration there, but we'll see how far this case goes. Erastus Asari Donko, my colleague reporting from the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. You're watching Joy News today. We'll take a breather. We will be back with business. Stay with us.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Qatar Airways says it is open to partnership talks on a new national carrier for Ghana if the request is made by government. The country is currently working to have a deal with some of the major international airlines who have plans to establish a national carrier. Now, there are reports of government settling on Egypt Air for some kind of support, but speaking to Joy Business, Vice President for Africa, Hendrik Dupriez, says they are open for a discussion.
Since, you know, there's a lot of reliance in the mining industry on getting skilled workers from all over the world and taking skilled workers from here to other places in the world. You know, I think the ability to move people in between countries and bringing those skills in where necessary will enable the economy on its own. And again, the ripple effect comes back to us. You know, it's the one demand that then drives the other one.
I knew that in the back there were some, I don't know what happened when you moved on, but there were in the past some discussions with the government in their quest to look at a partnership with a national carrier. What happened to those talks? Have they broken off or you moved on, or what has happened to that?
You know, like I said to you earlier, we constantly talk to many partners around the world. You know, even in Africa alone, we've got 26 partner airlines that we work with. You know, so it's, I can't come and say it's broken off or anything like that. It's more, you know, we consistently engage with potential partners to see how can we work together. You know, and it will vary in degree. You know, some we've got what we call interline agreements. You know, where they're able to issue a single ticket from one airline onto us and onto the destination, or to code-share partnerships, you know. But yeah, we constantly review it. In the region, like I said, we've got one with a domestic carrier here that we're working with. Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah.
But I know for a business, some of these business transactions are close to your chest, and not to ask for those fine details. But what I'm just trying to find out is that, is there still anything on the table in terms of the discussion open to discussion with government on partnership with a national carrier? Or we've not ruled it out, but something that is still on the table?
You know, like I said, obviously that is discussions that happens at a very high level. You know, a lot of time intergovernment. You know, so I can't really comment on those specifically. Yeah.
But I knew that there were some. Is there any discussion of that sort, or as far as you're concerned, the chapter has been closed? Maybe?
I can't say that the chapter has been closed. Like I said, there's a consistent discussions that happens with many partners. You know, but there's a different team that deals with all of that. You know, from a commercial perspective, I'm not privy to obviously to all the discussions that happens.
Is this something that you welcome as an airline, or is this something that you think you will it could be looked into? Some would say.
You know, definitely. Like I said, we always look at partnerships.
Meanwhile, Qatar Airways says it is looking to increase daily flights from the current 5 times a day soon. Looking at the current demand, it has also described its one-year operation on the Accra-Doha route as good. In other news, the first 20 people to patronize SNS Estates at the upcoming Habitat Fair will benefit from a 5% discount on their buildings. According to Chief Executive Simon Tete, though houses at the City of Favour are affordable and have flexible payment plans, his outfit is willing to give a special offer to new customers that will make their way to the fair next weekend. Here's more.
The 12th edition of EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair takes off on October 27th this year. Habitat Fair provides a platform for prospective homeowners to interact with key stakeholders in the construction and artisanal industry. First-time participants, SNS Estates promises to offer 5% discount to customers who sign up during the fair.
Our 2-bedroom houses, we're selling it at $65,000 US. We're doing 3-bedroom, $100,000 US, and then the 4-bedroom, $130,000 US. Aside all these things that we're putting in place, we said we're giving you some 5% token. 5% token to rush in here. But the first 20 people, we're doing that 5%. After that, it will be very difficult to do so.
Chief Executive of SNS Estates, Simon Tete, adds there is a flexible payment plan for all.
We understand the Ghanaian economy, and therefore we have a very fantastic payment plan for you. We are saying that just when you are interested in our buying our property, all you need to do is to just pay us 4,000 Ghana cedis and register and tell us that, look, I'm interested. I want to organize myself and then come properly. We are saying that when you are ready, after organizing yourself, you should be able to pay us 30% of the money. When you pay 30%, we said, go and relax, be doing your work, take you 18 months to complete payment.
Mr. Tete took Joy Business through the features of buildings constructed by his firm.
For our buildings, you are to get features like the automatic sliding gate, the external security doors, a kitchen terrace and a storeroom, a very stylish, fully tiled kitchen, water heater system. We have the AC points, and the AC point we provide, as you can see, if you want the AC, we to put the AC for you and all that, we do that also. We also have the walk-in closet for the master bedroom. And then aesthetically, external features, it comes with the flowers and all those things.
Sowanano and Sons Company Limited is a liability company established in 2008. Its first real estate is named City of Favor, located at Dowenya. Its units are 2-bedroom semi-detached, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom detached houses.
All right, and that's business for now. More coming up on the marketplace at the top of the hour. Up next, sports.
Good afternoon. Time 9 for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Black Stars head coach Milovan Ravaj says he is motivated more than any other person to secure qualification to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The Serbian made a return for a second stint and led the national team to back-to-back wins over Zimbabwe, putting Ghana in pole position to qualify to the next phase. He is optimistic of booking a ticket to Qatar. Let's talk about UEFA Champions League football tonight, and it's a big night for Liverpool and Real Madrid. As you can see on your screen, these are the fixtures. For Tuesday, 19th October, there's Besiktas versus Sporting Lisbon. Club Brugge will come up against Manchester City, and you are going to be seeing Kamal Sowa in action for Club Brugge. There's Ajax Amsterdam versus Borussia Dortmund. There's also going to be Kudus Mohamed, who's going to be in action for them. Atletico Madrid versus Liverpool is a big match for today. FC Porto will come up against AC Milan. Inter Milan versus Sheriff Tiraspol. There's Edmond Addo in action for Sheriff Tiraspol. Paris Saint-Germain will come up against RB Leipzig, and Shakhtar Donetsk will play Real Madrid. These are the fixtures for Tuesday, October 19. Thanks very much for joining us for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. You can head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. We appreciate your company.
In show business news, police have ruled out any alleged attack on dancehall artist Shatta Wale. This comes after reports the musician suffered a gunshot attack last night. Many of his fans referenced his attack to a prophecy by a man of God earlier. Police say none of the musician's family members and friends have reported the incident to them. So far, they have been successful or unsuccessful at locating Shatta Wale either at his home or in various hospitals. Director General, Police Public Affairs, ACP Kwesi Ofori, says they're still looking for Shatta.
The mandate to protect lives and property across board. And therefore, when we read this on the social media, definitely we might get involved. And we got involved. And such operations began. And the patrol team visited his residence and other places that he is known to be. And lo and behold, nothing of that sort. We did not find him. We did not get to him either on phone or through his handlers. I mean, that is the team around him. And we've tasked policemen to locate him so that we hear his side of the story. Because to mention gun attack, it's a serious one in relation to alleged robbery and so forth. The service cannot sit down aloof. Therefore, we've started investigations, and we are praying that we chance on him and hear his side. And those who issue those statements also might be very relevant in our investigation. So I will wish him well, in stable health, for us to get him and talk to him and know the problem.
But for now, you're saying that you've ruled out any attack? Or the supposed attack that was reported?
The supposed attack, unless we get him, get those who reported that to the media because some names are associated with it, and we get them for us to know the true side of the story.
How would you be handling the situation moving forward? Is he going to be a suspect or a complainant?
Well, it depends upon what we gather. Now we are looking for him. We do not know where he is. We do not know what is happening to him. That is why we are seriously into such exercise, to locate him and hear him. So upon hearing him, that may determine the next line of action together with those who put up the story. And if it goes to establish that, the police may advise itself. If that is also not the case, the police may advise itself.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, the police yesterday arrested comedian Fanny Face, known in real life as Benson Oduro Boateng. The police say he allegedly threatened certain individuals, including his ex-wife. ACP Kwesi Ufori reveals they are investigating his threats.
A criminal code 1960 criminalizes behaviors like threat of death, threats, and he is engaged in those threats on the social media. And whether in writing or by verbal, the police take care of that as part of a criminal behavior. And we are investigating him for this. If evidence is adduced, nothing stops the police from taking decision in terms of court or what have you.
What do you expect to happen now that he's been arrested?
He is now under investigations. They are looking into those things. And those that it's been directed to may also be invited and coming. So at the end of the day, I think the investigative process might establish a prima facie case if we need to move ahead. And if it is established that those threats were directed to individuals or group of persons, nothing stops police from pursuing.
So there are those who are observing what is happening with Fanny Face, and they believe that he actually needs psychological help rather than being arrested and cuffed, and photos of him being cuffed shared on social media by the police.
Okay, police, we have all the resources during the investigation. If we believe that he has a challenge of some sort, we have clinical psychologists in the Department of Counseling. If it borders on anything regarding mental health, we have psychiatry department at the police. So we have all the resources. Yeah, like in the few months ago when we deployed psychiatrists, clinical psychologists to the Western region, nothing stops police from doing that. We are not evil-minded in our operations, but we make sure that people we hold to the court are in better shape, are in the best of their minds. And the police may look at all those things that you're raising.
Did the police have to share photos of him in handcuffs?
One thing that I will say is that the media in our environment, we know there is that kind of unwritten partnership where we give stories, we give photos when need be.
Yeah.
And some of
Is this one of the instances you felt that there was a need to share?
Well, it's subject to whatever we are doing. And I believe that whatever has been done is in line to make sure that, we get to the bottom of the matter.
Before we go, Ghana's youngest musician, Carline Nana Kwakye, popularly known as Photocopy turned 8 years today, but his first song, Mejimido, has over 300,000 views on YouTube and continues to enjoy massive airplay. He has given indication he's not stopping music anytime soon as he prepares to release a new song featuring musician Shatta Wale. The Class 2 pupil says he was overjoyed when Shatta Wale contacted his team for a collaboration. The song, scheduled to be released next week Friday, will also set the pace for his school debut education and talent tour to highlight the importance of education. Here's Maxwell Akbaba's report.
Wale, Miswe, Ekute, me pacha bon arrive, mi school 17, ma frewe, mi tifie, mi go school. Yentem na bebu amie.
Oh, what a fun way to end Joy News today. We say happy birthday to Photocopy. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Mama Vio Swabwaje. Thanks for your company. Enjoy the rest of it. See you soon.